everybody, Olivia again. So we just finished up another video about how I personally fill in my eyebrows. And now that I have completed both my eyebrows, I wanted to talk about tweezing your eyebrows at home. Okay, so of course, we believe the best way to go about getting that beautiful, clean shape for your eyebrows is to come in and get sugared. And so as soon as we are able to do that again, we hope that you will give that a try. However, we also realize that hair still grows, even if you're stuck at home. So we talked about the tools already a little earlier. My favorite tools and tips and tricks with tweezers and how to use them. This is my personal favorite pair of tweezers that I have. And so what I wanted to show you is sort of how I select what hairs I'm going to take versus what I'm going to leave behind, so that I don't mess with the body of my brow, the shape that we are creating with my eyebrows. I've already tweezed this eyebrow. So you can see it has a much nicer, cleaner edge on there than it had previously. And I'm going to take my glasses off. So I'm going to show you kind of like when I'm selecting which hairs I want to take, what is my thought process? I'm going to get this light down a little further. It's not so much shadow. Anyway, so one of the things about eyebrows that's sort of counterintuitive is that if you create, I'm going to grab my little note card again from earlier. If you want to create a high arch here, you want to lift up the eye by putting the arch of the brow here. Some people think that the way to do that is to like have the body of the brow here and then go up and over, and that somehow makes the eyebrow look higher. But that's not the way that the eye works when you're visually seeing something. What actually will make your eyebrow look higher and more arched is if you try to create a straight line from the inner corner of the eyebrow up to the highest part of the arch. Try to create a straight line there instead of over and up and around. Okay, so trying to create as straight a line as you can between the inner corner here and the highest part of your arch here. The other thing to keep in mind is we focus a lot on the underneath part of the eyebrow as being how you create an arch. However, the top is also equally important. And you want to make sure when you are choosing shapes here on the top of the brow, for the most part, you want to try to match the type of angle you do here to the type of angle you have up here. So if you have a very angled and pointy top on your eyebrow, you want your bottom eyebrow to also be a little more angled. The thing about an angled arch is that it's going to seem a little more severe. And so you want to make sure that it's goes with your personality, honestly. I like to soften mine a little bit. It's a little more rounded because I don't like it to be that 45-degree angle. I want it to be a little bit softer, a little bit less harsh. I feel like that softens my face, but this gives me enough lift that even though I have deep set eyes and a very prominent brow bone, it lifts the eye up a bit. And so that's what I do. So when I'm looking at this other eyebrow, when I look at this line from the inner corner to the highest part of the arch, anything on the other side of that is what I want to take. I don't want to start getting up into which hair on the very edge of my eyebrow line is going to go or not. Because that's where you get into the problem where you literally can take one hair from this eyebrow and all of a sudden you've created an imbalance with this side. Now you got to go and try and take one on this side, and then you created an imbalance on this side, and you start going back and forth. And next thing you know, you've got like 4 lines of hair and you're really regretting it. So stay away from the body of your brow as much as you can and use this little trick here to help you to see the edge. This is also a great little trick too. If you're having trouble creating a nice straight line with your brow powder, you can literally use a note card and do your powder, and you're kind of using it like the edge of a stencil. And when you take it away, you've got a nice straight line. Okay. Notice how I also try to make that line a natural extension of my natural fold, right? That's the natural fold from the inner corner of my eye up to the highest part of my brow. That's the same line, okay? Okay, so when I'm tweezing on this side, first of all, we already talked about people have a tendency to do real well on their dominant side, and then when they go to their opposite side, everybody's going this way. Okay, we don't want to do that. That's how you break hairs and you get those little ingrown hairs. So we're going to reach all the way around. And then, as I said before, you can kind of just drag the flat edge of the tweezers across the skin, and you'll feel when it hits a hair. Okay? If you can't feel it right away, just keep practicing, and you will. Okay? You can see when I'm grabbing those hairs. Okay? By the way, again, sanitation. I'm an esthetician. Sanitation is my life. But even with my home tools, after I have used these tweezers, I always wash and sanitize them. And it doesn't have to be hospital grade disinfectant like we use at the spa. It can just be a little bit of alcohol in the cap of the bottle. Just dip them in, let them dry. Okay. So you always want to keep it clean. When you're taking hair out by the root, the thing to keep in mind is that you are creating a little wound in the skin, and it's deep in the skin, but we just don't want to introduce anything into that opening that we've created that could cause an infection, a pimple, anything like that. Okay. So you can see I'm definitely getting hairs every time I get one. You can see my skin move. I'm not grabbing my skin, I promise. I am grabbing hairs. And these tweezers are just so good that they get the finest hairs. Love them. Okay. And so I'm just trying to get anything outside of my brow line. Now, I prefer actually to tweeze my eyebrows after I have done my eyebrow makeup, because that makes it so clear for me what needs to go and what needs to stay. That's probably my top trick. Do your eyebrow makeup first, then tweeze, okay? And then it becomes very obvious which hairs that you should not touch, okay? Hope you're having a great day, and I will hopefully see you again soon.